Hi there, this is Mary Renee on this last day of the 7th month of the year 2026. And I want to read and do a little commentary on Revelation chapter 12. And chapter 12 seems, from what it appears, it seems to show the complete wrath of God right before. And then it goes back in, and then it's like starts the story over in chapter 12. And there appeared a great woman in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. As I have pondered on this entire book, this chapter also, I have pondered the 12 stars being the 12 disciples whom, after she gives birth to the king, commissions his disciples to go and spread the gospel of the truth of his sacrifice. So that, and then the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth and pained to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads. So here we are, right before she's going to give birth, and this dragon with 7 heads, 10 horns, which is also the same beast that comes up out of the bottomless pit, and crowns upon his head. So here we are to the beast system, the beast and the system with the 7 heads. So this is telling exactly what is playing out since Jesus ascended. Okay? And his tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them into the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. Okay, so he drew the stars of heaven. It shows further down in the chapter that happened at the time Michael cast him to earth. Okay, so the battle was during her delivery in the heavens. And she brought forth the man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. And her child was caught up unto God and to his throne. Okay. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she hath a place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. Now this also relates to the 3.5 years the beast rules. Now this also, and there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. This is when they were cast out, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. At the same time, Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. At the same time, she gave birth. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent, called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Okay? That's when they came down. They came down to earth. That's when the devil took over down on earth. He had no place once Jesus was born. And so that was his mission. Once he came down here, he was like, well, I have to kill Jesus. I have to kill him, because he thought Jesus was going to have the kingdom now, or then. He was going to bring the all of it then. And what revelation, what we're waiting for, is what they saw it, or he saw it was happening then. This is my opinion. And it kind of makes sense why he tried to kill Jesus, because he didn't understand the plan. And he still doesn't understand the plan. And I'm trying to understand the plan. And the plan is very clear, that he came down at the time that Satan was defeated in heaven, when she gave birth. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God. Did not Jesus say, for the kingdom of God has come? There we are. This is when this happened. And the power of his Christ. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. So he was cast down. So this is when Satan came down. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. And they loved not their lives unto the death. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth, and of the seal, and of the seal of the sea. Excuse me. Okay, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, and because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. His short time was first to kill Jesus. And when I don't know, I'm not trying to add or take away. I'm trying to understand as it's being written by John, who, when he sent it out, they understood better than we do now. And I believe a lot of this was telling them what had already happened by what Jesus did. And when the dragon saw that he was cast into the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child. Yes, so all the Pharisees and Sadducees, they were after all of his brothers and sisters, and Mary too. And all the disciples and all the friends of them. For she is the second mother. As Eve is the mother, so is Mary, the mother of the entire tribes, in a sense. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time and times and half a time from the face of the serpent. So this is probably what I'm thinking during the Roman times. While the gospel was being spread out, and she probably didn't stay in the city after a while. I don't know, but Jesus warned all his disciples and friends that the city was going to be destroyed, and the temple, and to flee when you seen these things. So he was talking about the temple destruction at that time. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman. Now we don't know what the weather was like back then, and we don't know what he did. Because even in Job it shows that he does have some type of manipulating abilities over weather. That he might cause her to be carried away of the flood of the Romans coming after all the Christians. They were constantly being harassed. They were constantly being put in prison. People would, if they didn't, they were told on. They had to do so much to just stay alive. They weren't trying to be killed, but they knew that if it was to come to them, that, they would be ready. And they knew better not to take the ashes of the king. And they knew better not to eat the meat that was given to idols. And they knew better not to do the things that Jesus told us not to do. And the earth helped the woman, and she escaped, apparently. And the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood, which the dragon cast out of his mouth. And that I think is during the Dark Ages. And that was the time when they were trying, when the first Pope and all these things that they had to do in order to be a light and become brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter. And even Constantine learned that you can't kill Christians because it made more Christians. Because people don't die for a lie. Okay? And the last verse, chapter 12, verse 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. So just as in Abraham, we are also the seed of the woman, the seed of Mary, the seed of her remnant, because of faith. Because of faith, we are the faith by faith. A new covenant. It's the same covenant, but the new covenant is that we don't have to sacrifice animals for atonement. Never again will that be done. Once was all that was needed. And this is telling, I believe chapter 12 is telling this whole age until Jesus returns. It's not just the end. And I also believe, and starting to believe, and I'm putting the scriptures together to confirm this and validate this, but from what I read, the Antichrist won't be revealed until right before the end, right before Jesus returns. Because the world, so many are calling out who they think it is. And to go with my last video, I was saying who I think he is. And the Revelation 13 guy. And before I get off here, which I am, because I will come back with more, because I will want to come and discuss chapter 13 and how it affects today. And we are definitely at the end. And if I'm wrong, Trump's a distraction, and we're about to see the real one. But, I mean, I'm tired of saying that. I'm tired of hearing precursor. I'm tired of the lies and the deception and everybody putting it all ahead and putting Revelations all ahead as if it was just meant for us, because it was meant for them at their time too. In the beginning, he says, I am Alpha and Omega, the first and the last. And what thou seest, write in the book, and send it unto 7 churches which are in Asia, and Ephesus, and unto Smyrna, unto Pergamos, and unto Thyatira, and unto Sardis, and unto Philadelphia, and unto Laodicea. Fear not, and I am the first and the last. I am he that liveth and was dead, and behold, I am alive forevermore. Amen. And have the keys of hell and of death. So these words were by him, and I love the words of red. And no Bible should have ever stopped putting the words of red for Jesus. This is words because this is revelation from Jesus, not John. Jesus, the revelation of Jesus to John. See, the first sentence says it right there, and then they name it that. Which is it? Come on, people. They can change that, but they can't change the word, the truth, and the light. He was telling them and telling us today how it's going to end and how it's been for the last 2,000 years. And according to this pattern in this book, he shows up every 2,000 years in almighty glory and power. And I pray, he says to me, well done, good and faithful servant. And to you also, my fellow brothers and sisters. Endure to the end, because we're almost there. Stay ready.